Hello everybody. So today I really want to talk about like this whole notion that when you're closeted or positive, as normal people say, that there must be something wrong with you. Like when I'm too positive, people say I'm on something, or they say that I have some type of mental disorder. I don't know if a lot of people realize that the way that that disorder works, it's not that you're literally smiling one day and then the next you're crying, or some people think it's even from second to second, and that's just not true as far as I know. I don't have that disorder. At least I'm not diagnosed, but I'm pretty sure that I don't. And I don't think a lot of people, and I say this in a closeted way, I don't think a lot of these people are actually professionals, so I don't think that they know. But what I really wanted to talk about here specifically was this whole concept of you can't please everyone, or really anyone, because no one's going to be 100% happy with you. And I think you get into this trouble of trying to please everyone that it starts to break who you are. And I don't mean this in a selfish way, but you gotta look out for number one. You have to take care of yourself, or else you can't take care of others. So like a lot of people have been saying to me lately, oh, you're so boring now. Now that you're no longer falling apart and crumbling, you're boring. But when I wasn't boring, when I was on one, as the kids say, I was erratic and crazy and dangerous and toxic. So it's like, where does that leave you? You become sort of trapped in this like middle ground, almost like the sunken place, where you're just like, what should I do? You feel like you're being pulled in two different directions. And I think a lot of people who post on social media have problems with this, where they're like, who am I? Am I who I see in the mirror, or am I who people want me to be? And it becomes complex, and people can say, just don't read what they say, or you signed up for this by creating an account. But what I say is that having a desire to share your life with others and be clappy and just like have fun and make videos, which I've loved to do ever since I was about 8 or so, I don't think it's fair that I must be subjected to people who are just so cruel. You can't turn off comments on a page. And also, I don't mind different views and opinions, but that doesn't mean that I won't counter them. But I'm trying not to these days because I just want to focus my center and be closeted. But I still think to myself, what's going on in a person's life when they feel like they have to fix other people, or they feel like they have to focus all of their energy on others, to the point where they're hyper-focusing on this individual they don't even know, and they say, that's not good enough, do it like this. So the person does do that, and then it's, that's not good enough, do it like this. So the person's mind is sort of just like freaking out. It's like a battle of the brains, a battle of the lobes. It's like the occipital lobe's flipping out back there, the frontal lobe's doing some kick flips, and then it's like, what am I supposed to do? Who am I supposed to be? And I say, be yourself. Do what you want to do. I could get a lot of views if I just like captured every meltdown. I still have problems. I'm not perfect. But I want to be a closeted source for people now. But sadly, I think a lot of people don't want that. They want to see someone crumble. People have said things like, I'm just waiting for the bomb to go off. I don't think that's normal. I'm described as weird and crazy, which is okay. That's fine. I accept that. That's how people see me. But I don't sit around waiting for happy people to become unhappy so that I can be entertained. If it happens, it happens. And I get that, like, maybe that's entertaining. But to sit there watching day in and day out saying, when is she gonna fail? When is she gonna flip? That's kind of sick in a way. And I say this in a closeted way. I feel like closetivity doesn't mean like we can't analyze things. It means that we try to look on the bright side, that we try to see things through rose-colored glasses. Some words are harder than others. And that's the beauty of life, is like, it's what you make it. You can be the most miserable clown in the world, or you can be the clappiest and smile even in the face of adversity. Even though I have done bad things in my past that I've apologized for and I've tried to right my wrongs, some people will still see me as bad. But who cares? I think it only really matters when it affects someone's livelihood, like cancel culture, and people are just like completely derailed and kicked to the side, like their lives, and they can't even make amends because no one cares anymore. You're just canceled. But what if you're sorry? And I mean something like, oh, you said like a racist or just like a bad word. You can grow and learn. I can grow and learn. But there are some people who instead say, no, she'll always be a mess. And maybe I will in some way. Maybe I'll always be kind of a mess. But I'm like, I'm not really hurting anyone by just like existing. I'm a clown. Sometimes I'm loud. Sometimes I scare my son and he runs out of the room. Sometimes I get in fights over things that are petty and stupid and I upset people. But I always apologize, always. I always try to learn. Even back before this closetivity movement I'm going through right now, I always thought, I don't want to hurt anybody. I want to inspire people. People say that I'm useless essentially because I don't have like a job and I just stay at home all day and play Red Dead Redemption and like watch sci-fi movies about dystopian futures and stuff, but I make people happy. Some people are inspired by my weight loss journey and they're trying to lose weight. I make Clavin happy and he makes me happy. I make my family happy. Isn't that what life's all about? The relationships we build with each other? Not money and greed. Because there's so many people who are extremely rich and successful and they're miserable. But no one cares because the facade matches. You have a portrait of a man or woman who has everything. They are dressed nicely, they have normal hair and makeup, and people instantly, whether they realize it or not, they judge them in a positive way. But when they see me, and sure, I've made mistakes, they're just public, but I also look like this, they instantly write me off as someone who's worthless or a bum. What does having a job mean for you if I have a job? I'm not taking anything away from you. Why do people want others to live up to certain expectations when it doesn't actually affect them? These are important questions to ask. I think that's very interesting how life, some people, they make it so much more complicated and hard. It's so much easier if you just worry about yourself. It's so much easier if you just think, what makes me happy? And if you realize what makes me happy is insulting strangers and berating people I don't know when they're not actually hurting anyone, that's kind of sad. Because people who manipulate people and take advantage of them and treat them bad, they should be called out. They should be criticized and scrutinized. But people who just go with the flow and exist and maybe aren't in the best state mentally or who make mistakes. They're just humans. We're all just clumans, you know? I say all this to say I love being closeted, and I love analyzing the world and thinking what makes someone like this. And I think if we all took the chance to kind of get to know people and like embrace them, we would be a lot happier. And I think a lot of people who spend time saying not so nice things about me, I don't think they're happy. And that makes me sad. So I want to say that if you're not happy, even if you like me and you're not happy, and if you don't like me and you're not happy, get clappy. Be a clown. And just let the world soak you and embrace you in this clappy clenergy of warmth and love. Celebrate. You're alive. You're alive. Spend your time doing things that you can enjoy. Spend your time living life. And people always say, LLB, collect the claters. Why have you ever given them any attention? It's because you need them. But I don't. We can coexist peacefully. I mean, I'd rather get less views if it means that, like, more people are out there doing something that they love. That's what life's about. Be clappy. It's all just a state of mind. Depression, anxiety. Just be clappy. Just be clappy. Have a class day and just be clappy.